Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Sally, and welcome back if you've been here before. My channel is all about quick Qigong practices that you can do in 10 to 15 minutes to release stress, boost your energy, and to help you heal your body. Today we're going to be working with the kidneys. The kidneys are governed by the water element. When you think of water, I want you to think of your ability to go with the flow, your ability to move with the energy as the energy is moving, going with the path of least resistance. The energy of water is all about gathering, absorbing, and conserving. We want to conserve the energy, we want to conserve the water that we bring into our kidneys. In traditional Chinese medicine, it is the kidneys which they regard as the most important organ, not the heart as we do in Western medicine. They believe that once the kidneys start to go, everything else just starts to fail. So we want to bring as much energy and vitality into our kidneys as we can in our daily life so that we have that energy to keep moving forward. When we are in the gestation period, when we were in our mother's uterus, as we are growing, there's a certain amount of Jing essence that is actually in the kidneys. You can compare it to when female babies are in their mother's wombs, they have a certain amount of eggs. And that is all the eggs that they are ever going to get for the rest of their life. Once they drop all those eggs, then they pass into menopause. It's the same thing with your Jing essence. Your Jing is your life force energy. So you only have a certain amount that is in your kidneys, again, in the womb. And as you are born, you start depleting that energy right away. And once all that energy is depleted, that's when the kidneys begin to fail, and that's when the rest of the body begins to demise. The way that you add energy to the kidneys, add Jing to the kidneys, is through Qigong, through diet, through breath. So you want to use your energy wisely. You want to conserve the energy that you have in your kidneys and bring in more energy that you can actually use so you don't deplete your original Jing essence. You can kind of think of it like a bank account. You have a certain amount of money in your bank. It's earning an amount of interest. You want to try to live off the interest and not dip into the principal. Because the more you dip into the principal, the smaller the account gets and the less money you have. So today we are going to be doing an exercise from the Ba Duan Jin. The Ba Duan Jin is probably the oldest Qigong practice form. It's made up of 8 different exercises that go in a certain order to basically cleanse and vitalize all of your organs in one form series. It is all encompassing, it is all healing, it is all amazing. But today we are just going to be focusing on one exercise because, again, I like to give you guys short little pieces that you can use. You don't have to do this whole practice. Today we are just going to be working on pulling some energy, pulling some water, bringing more of that Jing essence into our kidneys. There are many different versions of the 8 different exercises of the Ba Duan Jin. Today I am doing one that I personally like a lot because it's very flowy. I tend to like to do flowy stuff. I like to dance, I like to move. I learned this practice from a teacher and friend of mine, Stephanie Nosko. And I don't know where she learned it from, but again, this is ancient practice, and you will find it different ways. You'll find many different teachers will teach these exercises in many different forms, but they're all cultivating the same thing. You are cultivating energy, you're cultivating water into the kidneys. So let's do the practice. So to begin, your feet are going to be a little bit wider than shoulder width distance. You will be doing a forward fold to gather some water at your feet. So I just want you to be able to kind of come down and get in between your legs. If a forward fold or coming down is uncomfortable for you, just come down as far as you can. It's not competition. You can just gather some water this way. Everything. You can even just come this far, gather some water and pull it up. Do what is comfortable for you. Qigong is something that should not take a lot of effort to create a lot of energy. So if something is difficult for you or something hurts you in your body when you're doing the Qigong, back off and don't go that far. Only take it to the level where you are comfortable and you want to feel the way that it's making you feel. So you look down at your feet, and I want you to have your feet on, like you're on 2 train tracks. So your feet are facing forward. Sometimes we might have our toes that splay out to the side. This is just an external rotation of the knees, or sometimes they come in, right? This is an internal rotation of the knees. Neither of those are that great for your posture, so you want to try to retrain if you do have that issue with your knees going in or out. And you can do that by making sure when you look down that your feet are straight. Like again, you're standing on 2 train tracks that are going straight along in front of you. You have to be on them like balance beams with your feet, and this will slowly actually start to train your knees to be in a more correct posture position. And then soften the knees, again, keeping a little softness in the knees, relaxing the hips, tucking that tailbone. This is going to be kind of your grounded posture that you always want to keep when you're doing your Qigong, because this is going to guide your perineum, your energy, your Tai Chi pull right down into the center of the earth, connecting with the center of the earth. When you keep your head straight above the hips, you're going to align straight down with the North Star, and this is pulling the earth energy up, drawing the heavenly energy down, and it's connecting right within you, right here in your lower belly and your lower dantian. Now I want you to imagine that there is a pool of water right here at your waist, right? And I want you to think of when you're doing water exercises, how flowy can you be? Water is not a sharp moving energy. Water flows. It can go fast, it can go slow, but it's always going to flow in the path of least resistance. So just think of when you're doing any exercise that has to do with water, you're thinking of flow and you're moving that energy in the softest way possible, just letting the energy move rather than forcing the energy and trying to get it to kind of fit in the pockets and the things that you need. I also want you to think that at your feet, there's a big puddle of water, or a pool of water, okay? Not a puddle, we want a pool. The more energy we can pull and generate, the stronger we're gonna fill up into our kidneys. And I want you to think of your kidneys as cups. These cups that are sitting right here, they are these little, kind of not little, but these kidney bean kind of shaped organs that sit underneath your bottom ribs. And I want you to think of them as cups that you're trying to fill the energy, fill the kidneys up with water, so that when your kidneys actually have more water and they're overflowing, you can give from a space of overflow versus feeling you are giving from a place of not having enough. If you just had a cup, you had a drink, and you only have it about a quarter full, and you just kept giving your drink to everyone, here, have some of my drink, here, you can have some of my drink, you can have some of my drink, you're not gonna have any drink for you. And we all like to have some drink. So I want you to think of running these kidneys like cups, filling them up with water. The water's overflowing through the kidneys. And of course you can give away your drink because it's just continually being filled with water, with energy, with frequency. So as you inhale, you gather some water and you bring them into the kidneys, drawing that blue watery light into the kidneys. Now, as you exhale, you're going to take the backs of the palms of your hands and you're going to draw the energy down the outside of your legs. This is down the bladder channel. Now you're going to gather some water at your feet. And as you inhale, pull that energy up the inside of your legs. When your hands get to your qua is basically your hip flexor right here. This is your qua. They just call it your qua in traditional Chinese practices. So, or Kung Fu or martial arts, it's your qua. So as your hands get to the qua, the hands are just gonna rise. And I'm just letting the hands rise. I'm letting them float up. I'm not pulling them up. The more I pull them up and just do this, I can feel it in my shoulder. When I just let the palms rise, like there's some energy pushing the hands up, they just float up. And now I'm gonna imagine I've got this waterfall above my head, and as I exhale, this water is just draining into the crown of my head, cleansing my face, my throat, down into my body, and it's filling the kidneys up in my lower back, like again, like they're cups. Okay, so you inhale, gather some water, bring that blue light, that blue flowy water into the kidneys. As you exhale, draw the energy down the outside of the legs. Come to the floor, gather some more water, and inhale, draw the energy up the inside of the legs. As your hands get to the quad, they just float on up all the way above your head. And then you exhale, this water coming down like a beautiful waterfall, moving through your body, filling up the kidneys like they're cups with water. Again, inhale, gather some water, bring it into the kidneys. Exhale, draw that energy down the outside of the legs, down the bladder channel. Gather some water from your feet. Inhale, drag it up the inside of the legs, the kidney channel. As the hands get to the quad, they float on up, they rise on up. And then exhale, drawing that water down through your crown, softening the face, through the throat, moving down the torso and filling the kidneys up with water. And inhale, water into the kidneys. As you exhale, down the outside of the legs, drawing that energy down towards the ground. Gather some water from your feet. Inhale, pull that water up the inside of the legs. The hands get to the quad. They float up above your head. As you exhale, you draw this waterfall energy down through your body, filling up the kidneys with blue light. Do 2 more. Inhale, gather some water into the kidneys. Exhale, draw the energy down the outside of the legs. Gather some water at your feet. Inhale, pulling it up the inside of the legs. As the hands get to the quad, they just float up. And as you exhale, drawing that energy down like a waterfall, filling your kidneys with crystalline water. 1 more. Inhale, gather some water. Bring it into the kidneys. Exhale, draw the water down the outside of the legs. Gather some water at your feet. As you inhale, pull it up the inside. Hands come to the quad, they just float up. And then as you exhale, draw the energy down through your crown, filling the kidneys, healing the kidneys, giving you more of that Jing essence. Just bring your hands to the side. Again, keeping the knees soft, hips relaxed, tucking the tailbone, grounding into the earth. Bringing your awareness to the kidneys. Now filling the kidneys up with blue light, like blue crystalline light, just filling the kidneys. Like you can see them as these balls of energy, and as you inhale, the blue light expands and grows beyond the kidneys into your whole lower abdomen. And as you exhale, it kind of shrinks like it's pulsing into these kidneys. Again, inhale, expanding this blue light, filling up each kidney with this beautiful healing, calming light. And then as you exhale, softening. The light doesn't have to be confined to the body. As you inhale, the blue light can move out into your Wei Qi fields, filling up your whole lower abdomen here with blue light. And then exhale. And as this blue light fills into the kidneys, you're being merged with the virtues of self-confidence, grace, wisdom. You can feel the energy of fortitude, willpower, the energy that moves you forward, your ancestors behind you, helping you, guiding you. Just keeping this energy in the kidneys, thanking the kidneys for their hard work. And then exhale and just let it go. Bring the right leg in to meet your left. Giving thanks to yourself for showing up, for learning new things, for practicing. I appreciate you. Thank you for practicing with me. If this is something that you like, please like, share, subscribe, and then you can be notified when I put out new content. Thanks.